and I thought that this was a unique conference because of the three major blocks, you know, science, clear science and high-level science in the first block, social sciences, social problems, and legal solutions in the third block. So these three should cooperate, and then this has some promises for the future. So congratulations for organizing that conference. I totally agree. I must tell you, I think humankind plays a giant Jenga game, you know, pulling out small bars, and 1, 2, and the tower is still standing, but after all of a sudden, it's gonna collapse. So it's a very dangerous situation, and all kind of events which call the people's attention to that is vital. While our constitution is one of the best, I mean in respect to intergenerational justice. So our constitution declares that natural resources should be kept for the coming generations. Unfortunately, as in many other countries with strong constitutional declarations, it doesn't cascade down into lower level programs and laws and while our constitution is one of the best, I mean in respect to intergenerational justice. So our constitution declares that natural resources should be kept for the coming generations. Unfortunately, as in many other countries with strong constitutional declarations, it doesn't cascade down into lower level programs and laws and implementation. So at the time being, it's more than nothing. It shows the goodwill of the legislator, but that's not enough. Actually, I was a parliamentary officer for 4 years. I served as an ombudsman for future generations, and I tried to clarify as much as possible of the background of this kind of environmental conflicts, even in the smallest locality, which is sometimes quite pressing for the locals, and on the national and even international level. We could, with the help of our friends and networks, we could clarify quite a couple of conflicts concerning non-ionizing radiation, for instance, concerning spatial planning. You know, Hungary is losing 130 hectares a day. Every day as an average, you know, so that's awful. We need to clarify and keep the, even if it's a pain in the neck, it's inconvenient truth, as Al Gore says, but we have to keep telling to the society. Absolutely. The majority, as far as I know, the majority of national level criminal codes contain crimes against nature, crimes against environment, crimes in connection with hazardous materials, and so on. The problem is that the implementation of the so-called white-collar crimes is very poor. We have like a couple of dozen cases a year, and other countries in our region share this situation. So police, prosecutors, even sometimes judges don't take it serious. Well, criminal law echoes deeply in the soul of the ordinary persons, because it's the most ancient branch of our laws. It's quite instinctual. I would say it's archetypical. And the first instinct of ordinary citizens is to cry crime if they notice some injustice or unfair or seriously threatening situation in the society. However, all the branches of law should interplay. So I see the role of criminal law as, apart from the independent role, as an important subsidiary to administrative law. For instance, speaking about the reach, you know, when a company fails to respond the request of citizens about a hazardous product, it should be a crime, let alone when the company issues falsified data on the hazardous content of a product, a children's toy, for instance. Absolutely. I believe that it's a false dichotomy when we say, oh, our laws are excellent, only the implementation is missing. If a law is not implemented, that means it's not good enough. So we need better criminal laws, I do agree.